this meeting. Let the record reflect that I have also been presented with a list of stockholders of record as of the close of business on July 23, 2024, furnished by an authorized representative of the company's transfer agent. There are 175,283,440 shares of common stock entitled to vote at this meeting. I hereby appoint John Comers of the Carideo Group to act as the Inspector of Elections to determine the number of shares outstanding and entitled to vote, the number of shares represented at the meeting, the existence of a quorum, the validity and effect of proxies, and to receive and tabulate the votes on the matters to be acted upon at the meeting. Mr. Comers has executed an affidavit to faithfully execute his duties as the inspector. The Secretary will attach the affidavit to the minutes of this meeting. It is anticipated that the results will be reported to me as soon as practicable. Mr. Comers has reported that there are present in person or represented by proxy a majority of the outstanding shares entitled to vote at this meeting. Legal notice of the meeting having been given and a quorum being present, the meeting is lawfully convened and ready to transact business. The first order of business on the agenda is to elect 10 directors to serve until the annual meeting of stockholders of the company to be held in 2025 and until their successors have been duly elected and qualified. The Board of Directors, acting upon the recommendation of the Corporate Governance Committee, has nominated the following persons who are named in the company's proxy statement to serve as directors of the company until the annual meeting of stockholders to be held in 2025 and until their successors have been duly elected and qualified. Strauss Zelnick, Michael Dorneman, Bing Gordon, Roland Hernandez, Jay Moses, Michael Sharesky, Ellen Siminoff, Laverne Srinivasan, Susan Tolson, and Paul Vieira. I hereby present to this meeting the proposal set forth in the proxy statement that these nominees be elected as directors of the company for such annual term.
I second the proposal.
The next order of business on the agenda is to cast an advisory vote to approve the compensation of the company's named executive officers. I hereby present to this meeting the proposal set forth in the proxy statement that the stockholders approve on a non-binding advisory basis the compensation of the company's named executive officers.
I second the proposal.
The next order of business on the agenda is to vote upon the proposal to ratify the appointment of Ernst & Young as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for the fiscal year ending March 31, 2025. I would like to introduce Molly Tucker McHugh and Christina Bykowitz, who are present at the meeting and representing Ernst & Young. I hereby present the proposal set forth in the proxy statement that the stockholders approve the ratification of the appointment of Ernst & Young as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for the fiscal year ending March 31, 2025.
I second the proposal.
Any stockholder who has not yet voted on any of the proposals before this meeting or wishes to change their vote may do so by clicking on the voting button on the web portal and following the instructions there. Stockholders who have sent in proxies or voted via telephone or internet and do not want to change their vote do not need to take any further action. If any stockholders have questions directly related to the proposals that are to be voted upon at this meeting, such questions may be submitted on the meeting website. If you ask a question, please include your name and whether you are a personal stockholder or an authorized representative of a stockholder, in which case such stockholder must also be identified. There being no questions and voting having concluded, I now declare the polls closed. As I mentioned previously, the Inspector of Elections will tabulate the results of the voting, which will be reported to me as soon as practicable. There being no additional business to be conducted at the meeting, the business of the annual meeting is hereby concluded and the meeting is adjourned. We will now address stockholder questions that are submitted on the meeting website. Any stockholder submitting a question should also please include your name and whether you are a personal stockholder or an authorized representative of a stockholder, in which case such stockholder must also be identified. At this point, I will turn the floor over to our Chairman and CEO, Strauss Zelnick.
We'd now like to respond to questions following the rules Mr. Emerson outlined earlier in the meeting. Please note that we'll attempt to answer as many questions as time allows, but only questions that are in accordance with the rules will be addressed. If you have a question that did not get addressed during today's meeting, please feel free to contact our IR department via our corporate website at www.take2games.com. There are no questions, so thank you all for joining us today.
The meeting has now concluded. Thank you for joining, and have a pleasant day.
The host has ended this call. Goodbye.
Watch me as I take off. I'll be working until I have all of my days off. Then I'm surfing in California when I'm paid off. I'll be blurring my vision, sipping on that bass sauce. La da da, watch out, I'm coming, yeah. I know, I'm a hustler, I go. Got me running, got me gunning for thrones. I won't go back, no pass, flow past so fast. I'm gone, grow fast, big splash, all cash, like watch me as I take off. I'll be working until I have all of my days off. Then I'm surfing in California when I'm paid off. I'll be blurring my vision, sipping on that bass sauce. La da da, I'll be eating